Alright, how's everyone doing? Welcome to From Z to A, Alphabetical Interviews with Zach Andersen. I am Zach Andersen. Today we are here at Sage Sound Studios for the 41st edition of Monsters of Acoustic Rock, and I am joined by Sara Keden.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So thank you so much for being on the show.
No problem.
So I'm going to ask you the difficult questions as long as it has something to do with the letters of your name.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Alright, so we'll start with S. Tell me about your songwriting process. Do you tend to start with music or lyrics or melody? Does it vary song to song?
Okay. I think I try to let my songwriting process always be whatever that song needs.
Mm-hmm.
So if an idea comes, I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, I usually write lyrics first, which I don't usually. I just like, something will come that sticks, and like whether it is like a word or an idea, like a conceptual idea, like a concept, or a lyric or a melody or a lot of the times I get lyric and melody together just because I'll get like little syllables of things, but it always starts with something that sticks, like it has to stick first, and then from there I just like piece together the rest of it. So,
okay.
And it depends every time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright. And how much does an audience affect your sets? Do you tend to, like beforehand, do you tend to like meticulously plan out your set ahead of time? Or do you do it on the fly, change it up depending on how people react to certain songs?
I usually tend to plan out a set beforehand and like stick to it. If a crowd is particularly like quiet and receptive, then I might play like a really sad song because I'll be like, okay, these people are gonna be quiet instead of like ignore me. But I think that an audience like always makes a difference in a performance, but also like the energy that they feed you, right? Because it's kind of all about this exchange of energy. But I always try, I never know when I'm gonna get an energetic audience. So I always try to come prepared with something, some assortment of material that I can bring a lot of energy to, or scale back, or just like kind of manipulate in order to respond to my audience, whether that be receiving their energy and amplifying it, or creating energy for them.
Gotcha. Alright, now you just released a brand new single, Everybody.
Yeah!
Tell me about it.
I did. So that's a song that I wrote a really pretty long time ago. I wrote at the beginning of my junior year of college, and I just graduated, so that's almost like 2 and change years ago. And yeah, it's like my first ever recorded music out in the world, which is like so terrifying. It's really scary, but I've gotten a ton of positive feedback. And yeah, I recorded it with my friend Carter Vale, and he and I went to school together. We went to the University of Miami School of Music, Frost School of Music, Cocaine. We recorded it together at his house in Miami this past year, and we just put it out, and I don't know, I'm really excited about it. It's like rock, it's rock and tune, but
no, I've been listening to it a lot lately. It's a fantastic
thanks,
song.
Zach.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Go check out the music video.
Oh yeah, I just put the music video out today.
Yes, it is. It's pretty fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
It's a fun one.
It is.
It'll be a fun watch for you. But whether you think it's ridiculous or you like it, you'll respond. So
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you could play a gig with any other act in the world at any venue in the world, who would it be with and where would it be?
Oh my god, I saw this question on the. Oh my god, and man, any band like open for them?
Open,
like play
split,
in their band. Because the thing is, like, I'm a bass player by trade, right? So I do like a lot of sideman work, and I'm like in a lot of different bands. I'm in this band called Kid Sister, spelled Kidsistr, with some of my friends. It's like an all girl indie rock band, and I was in a bunch of bands at school, and I'm like play for artists and stuff. So really, like, when I get that question, it's like kind of, I think of like what group would I like to play in.
Right.
But
you can answer either way.
Yeah. Okay, so if there was any group that I'd really love to play in, I would love to play bass in Alabama Shakes.
Okay.
I just think that they're sick, and I can't wait for all the new stuff. Brittany Howard just put out a new single, so I'm really excited about that. If I could be on a bill with any band, geez. Well, I would like to play, okay, venue, I would like to play the Ryman in Nashville before I die, before I bite the dust. It would be amazing to play the Ryman because it's like a legendary venue. I would love to be on a bill with this band called Better Oblivion Community Center.
Okay.
It's like Phoebe Bridgers and Connor Oberst's brainchild, and Connor Oberst is like my sad dad from when I was 12, and Phoebe Bridgers is my sad mom now. So it's like everything coming together, and I would like just love to just open for them and then just like stand on the side and like cry. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Or I would love to be on a bill with the Police, because I sting as God.
There you go.
So that's my long-winded answer.
That was good.
Yeah.
And you kind of alluded to some of it, but what kind of music did you grow up listening to?
Yeah.
And how much do you think has it influenced your current style?
Okay. So I grew up, when I was like when I was young, like I listened to a lot of like the Beatles, and also I feel like I'm actually giving away a different answer. Never mind. Okay. I listened to a lot of like Beatles and just like kind of like classic stuff that my parents were listening to, like Beatles, Stevie Wonder, Eagles, stuff like that. And then I became a teenager and I started listening to like Rise Against and My Chemical Romance and like those bands, and I was like so emo and like, but honestly those bands, like, if there's anything, I listened to My Chemical Romance again lately, and that, can I curse?
Yeah, sure.
That shit holds up. Like, and the drama of their songwriting is, I think, something that really got inside me from like all that emo music when I was a teenager. Like Pierce the Veil, My Chemical Romance, Rise Against, even like 3 Days Grace, like all that stuff, because I was like, it's such dramatic music, but I was like really influenced by that. And then I also listened to like really sad indie music like Bright Eyes, so that was like my like songwritery thing that I started with. And then I started doing this program called School of Rock, which is like an extracurricular after-school program for kids who want to like play rock music. And I like started listening to like Led Zeppelin and like The Police and Prince and the Rolling Stones, like Elton John, like all of like classic rock and prog rock, like Yes and Rush and like some Genesis, mostly Yes. And that just kind of like, first of all, like got my chops up as like a bass player and like made me understand music more, and then just like gave me a little bit of like heaviness, like I think a little bit. So then I went to college and I was like, none of that's cool, like I like Alabama Shakes, and then I was like, but Alabama Shakes is all of that, so cool. And yeah, so I have all this stuff brewing inside of me, and I don't know, we'll see how it comes out. I don't know. I'm like, what? I'm like 15? No, just kidding. I'm 22. Okay, yeah, but that's our answer.
Alright.
Yeah.
And I like to end all my interviews with 3 interesting or random facts about yourself that many people might not know.
Okay. I thought they had to do with music. I'm such a...
You can do whatever you...
Okay, cool. So, my first fact that I think is important is I am like a big musical theater nerd.
Okay.
And like people see this like cool chick bass player, and then I'm like, oh my god, I love Wicked. Like I love, like I wish I could play Alphabet. Like I am a huge Broadway dweeb, and my mom used to play me like the soundtracks of Broadway plays when I was little and test me and my sisters on the stories. So I think that was like a big part of like understanding how to write songs, because she would play us like the Les Mis soundtrack and be like, what's happening now? Who's dying now? Like, so that's one. Geez. Oh, I didn't think it through. Number 2 is, I guess, that I love food a lot. I'm a big foodie. Like, my dad is like a foodie, and he like started feeding me and my sisters like weird food as early as we could chew it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I love weird food. I've eaten a bunch of weird food. I'm trying to think of like one of the weirdest. I've eaten like bull testicles and like stuff like that. And I just like love food. I think food is like a super cool like output of people culturally, and I just love to partake in that. And the third fact about me that I think is like the most important fact about me is I have spent the last 2 years teaching songwriting to incarcerated adult men.
Oh.
So I would go to this prison where I like down near where I went to school, so in Miami, Florida. I went to a men's prison, and I would go through this amazing organization called Exchange for Change, and teach weekly songwriting classes to incarcerated men. And through that, I have become a huge, huge advocate to end mass incarceration in America. And my last really dark tidbit is, did you know what nation globally has the highest rate of incarceration?
I believe it's our country.
It is our country. So, if you take nothing from this interview and mass incarceration, I'm smiling, but I'm really serious. But yeah, my students that I met on the inside were like some of the best people I've ever met. Some of the most attentive, most disciplined, most passionate and compassionate people ever. So that's me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, thanks for having me.
No problem. If you want to check out Sara Keden, please visit the link below. And now we'll cut to a performance from Sara. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Last time I saw you, you were begging for me in the dark. But then you went running back to the song of a more familiar lark. And I know she's beautiful, but she's fucking crazy. She said she'd never let you go. Yeah, you were always her baby, and you're such a nice boy, honey. She wants a nice boy, and she blows like the wind at your back, dragging you down to the railroad tracks. And she's all tied up, but she's begging you to save her, and you can't say no. I'm at the diner, looking in through the window at the glow, and you're waiting tables. She's dancing counter to counter, real slow. And I know she thinks that she's Bonnie Raitt, the way she calls you up to bed and then makes you wait. But actually I think she just reminds you of your mother, 'cause you keep letting her tell you what to do. And she blows like the wind at your back, dragging you down to the railroad tracks. And she tied herself up, but she knows you're gonna save her, 'cause you can't say no. Run, rabbit, run. Is the sound of my voice like the crack of a gun? 'Cause you know I could set you free. You know it. Ooh. Run, little rabbit, run. Is the sound of my voice like the crack of a gun? 'Cause you know I could set you free.